Peace and love, y'all. It's your brother A.D.V.I.S.S, and we are here with episode 14, season 2 of What's the Word Wednesdays. So, as we usually do it, I'm going to post the comment of today's topics, as well as I'm going to be putting in the picture for words and stuff. What's going on? That's what I'm talking about. Peace and love to y'all. What's going on? I see you in here, Alien Space Queen, the brother Chris. I see you in here. Peace and love to y'all. But as well as I'm gonna throw up the logo and just let it play in the background for a quick second as we let more people come in. But hope all is well with y'all. Y'all let me know how you doing, what's going on, and what's the word around you and everything else. Y'all let me know while I'm over here still getting myself situated just a little bit. Instagram was acting a little weird, but what isn't typical, right? Appreciate that. What's going on? I see Kundin in here. I see Javen. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. And shouts out to all y'all that are here in the comments, as well as those who are going to be watching later here on Instagram and YouTube. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more. All of that. Get the spill. Boom. We out the way. But who we got? Oh. So, obviously, I'm just looking in the comments real quick, y'all, before I even get started on some stuff. Oh, you decided to do it. To do what? What did I do? What did I do wrong? Do what? I'm just putting a photo up for right now, but I don't know how long I can continue to do it, because I used to be able to change in between. But one day I'm going to go a whole video and have just the photos in there. Yeah, y'all are in the comments right now. So, appreciate y'all. It's like, oh dang, I don't want to see your face. Yeah, JJ, yeah. Alright, y'all. Let's go ahead and we will get, introduce yourselves in the comments too, for sure. Alright. So I'm going to play the show song, and then I'm going to get into the topics and current events. Once you learn, you can sing along. If not, do what you got to do. Fred Wizard in the building, y'all. Got the words all day. So, other than that, here we go. Yeah, disclosure, if y'all want to share your stuff. If not, it's all good. Once again, it's a community thing. But when we come together, they be asking like, hey, what's the word, y'all? What's the word? What's the word, y'all? What's the word? What's the word, y'all? What's the word? What's up, Sue? What's the word? What's the word? What you heard? We gotta know, what's the word? Once again, y'all, it's your brother A.D.V.I.S.S, and we are here with episode 14 of What's the Word Wednesday, season 2. So again, I appreciate y'all all in the comments coming up in here doing what y'all do. Thank you for your time, as well as for those who are watching now. We'll be watching this later on Instagram and YouTube. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all those things. Yes, I'm going to do my spiel again, and we doing it until we get it ingrained into people's minds. But other than that, y'all, for today's episode, we are going to be getting into these 3 topics. First one, like we usually do, we're going to be talking about current events. So if y'all have any current events, please throw them in the comments. Please share them. Let me know what has been going on around you, because what's the word? Let me know. We're going to talk about current events. I'll give you some that I've seen. Then second, we're going to get into the topic of cheating. And yes, that's very broad. Cheating, we're going to take it wherever we want to end up taking it. And lastly, after that, we're going to get into the last topic, which is a question on where do you draw boundaries in your life. So those are going to be the 3 for today, and you're more than welcome to join. And y'all let me know. Once again, yes, disclaimer that this will be on YouTube. So if you would like to join and be on, you can. If not, you can stay right there in the comments. I appreciate your time and your participation anyways. But with that, let's get to these current events. All right. So I have a few pulled up. The comments, or at least the current events I got, we're going to be looking into again the sectors of health, world news, as well as I would say U.S. or stimulus updates. Okay? But if y'all have anything, please throw them in the comments also. You know? Right. First thing. Update again, health, most of it surrounding the shots. So just know that that's the case of what's going on with it. So this is an article from CNN, and the title reads, COVID-19 booster shots will likely be needed within a year of getting the vaccine. This is what Anthony Fauci has said. So I'm gonna read just 2 paragraphs and we'll leave it at that. But first it says, while the world may be opening up because of the increase of the COVID shots, top experts say there may be another round of shots needed within about a year. So the other thing is a booster COVID-19 shot for people who have already gotten the shot may be needed as soon as 8 to 12 months after they've gotten the original other shot. So, basically what it is here with it too is roughly about 47, almost 48% of the U.S. population has received at least one shot, and about 38% has gotten all of the shots. So that's all we at least got when it comes to that. So just know that there is a likelihood of a booster shot to be added if you have gotten the shots already. And it looks like right now, I am guessing in the future this will be a yearly thing, but right now it's saying within a year, yes. Okay? All right. As I get to the next thing, still talking about health-wise, let me see these comments. It said, y'all hear about the new COVID outbreak that had India shut down again? Wasn't it still going on in particular, Sue? It said, not to mention, India is one of the leading exports of the... Right? So 3 shots total. That's what it's looking like right now. That's what it's looking like. So you get your first one, you wait a month, you get the other one. At least from what I've heard, it's a month, and you get the other one, and then this one within the year. Yes, it's looking like give you a booster shot. So 3 in total. All right. Peace to those coming in. Love. Share in the comments. Do all of that. Yeah. So next thing, it's an update. This may not apply to every state, but just letting y'all know. So there are a few retailers, and this is in the U.S. Today. This is from the U.S. Today. It says these retailers. I can't say that word right now. Realtors no longer require masks in store following CDC announcement. And if you don't know about the CDC announcement, you can check on their website, and I have another article I'm gonna speak about it too. But long story short, CDC has approved those who have been able to get multiple or all the shots to be fully with all the shots, they are able to go in certain limits without wearing a mask. So, peace and love. Yeah, peace and love, my brother. Peace. So, let's see. I want to know. Let's look through who are some of these stores that will be allowing no mask, at least with the new update. We got Macy's. We got CVS. We got Walmart. Yes, that's the main one. Target. Yes. Let's see who else. Sam's Club. If y'all have Sam's Club. Trader Joe's. Costco. It says Starbucks. Publix, which is another food and pharmacy. BJ's Wholesale Club. I don't know. I'm just listing off. Best Buy. Got a few more. Home Depot being another one. Aldi is another grocery store. So a lot of the grocery stores and things. And Walgreens. So those are the few stores that will be no longer requiring a mask if you have gotten both of the doses. And next thing is a quick fact check about the guidance, because some people are not 100% sure of what's going on. So I'm gonna check on your comment right there, brother. But this one, it says fact check. CDC's new guidance for fully vaccinated people is not out of the blue. And when they mean by it's not out of the blue, basically they're talking about the announcements that was given and how that is going on. What's going on, brother? Sabu Smooth in the building, y'all. Or in the live. But article reads, and I read the first two paragraphs again, and then we'll continue on from there. So it says, on May 13th, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC for short, announced massive relaxations in the COVID-19 guidelines for people who have gotten the shots. Those who have gotten the shots can now stop social distancing measures and mask wearing indoors with few exceptions. Anyone who has gotten the shots can participate in indoor and outdoor activities, large or small, without wearing a mask or physical distancing. And this is from the director of CDC, which is Rochelle Walensky, said during the White House briefing on May 13th. If you have gotten all the shots, you can start doing the things that you had stopped doing before the pandemic. Okay? Once again, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but there is a whole article talking about the new guidelines and checking the facts on it. But with that, those are all at least the health-wise I got. I know y'all have some in here, so let me go to the comments, look through these. We'll see. The brother Kunin said, well, there's now the Indian variant, the California variant, and the Kent variant of COVID-19. There was even a Brazilian variant as early as last year too. And don't forget the one that is also out in Africa and the UK one as well. So there's a number of different variants, y'all. Sounds like get ready for a third wave. Yes, for sure. You have to, fam. Get ready. It just moves like that. Said everybody was wearing a mask at Sprouts when I went there today. I mean, it's gonna take a few days to roll out. Most of them towards the end of the month, or if not, the end of this particular week. But it just really depends. Again, most of us, I know some of the people that's in here, we got Cali, we got Seattle, we got East Coast, it's depends on where in particular, but this is just a mandate for all the places around. So yeah, and they didn't they say it wouldn't necessarily prevent infection but reduce deaths and hospitalizations? There's so much confusion around the proper ways to handle this situation going on. First, we need to wear this. First, we got to double up. Now, you don't have to double up. Now, if you got the shots, you don't have to wear it. But even if you still got the shots, there's a possibility that you can still get it. But if you haven't, now you can just not have a mask. So it's literally a back and forth, because once again, we don't have all the full data. So people are still trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. So it's like, it's going to go back and forth right now until we get something steady and firm on it. But let's see. The public and Walmart here already doesn't care. It's a your choice type of thing. They stopped out here. That's true. I forgot. Also got our folks out in Nevada and Georgia. All y'all in here in the house. Double up. LOL. Yeah. It's number of things. Alright. Now, in other news, I wanted to just bring to some folks' attention. This is, rest in the universe to the godfather of modern black comedy. If y'all don't know, Paul Mooney was known and titled as the godfather of black comedy, as well as Negro Damas in a lot of Dave Chappelle skits, has passed away at the age of 79. I'll read real short about it and then we'll continue on. But comedian and writer Paul Mooney passed away. After often referred to as the godfather of modern black comedy, a title he embraced, Mooney passed on after suffering a heart attack at his home in Oakland, California. He was 79. His passing on was reported on Twitter by his friend Roland Martin. So that was the first source of everybody finding out that he ended up passing on. Mooney spent decades behind the scenes writing for such shows as Saturday Night Live, In Living Color, and along with his friend Richard Pryor, Sanford and Son, starring Red Fox. So I'm not gonna continue to go on, but sending love out to the family. 79, and appreciate what he has brought to the genre of comedy and within black comedy. So peace, much love to you, Paul Mooney. Continue on. Alright, next thing, y'all, we gon' yeah, exactly, y'all, put it in there. Yeah. So, alright, another thing. This article, again, MSN. This is from the Motley Fool. Now we're getting into finance. And this says 39 million households to get more coronavirus stimulus money starting July 15th. So that's within, another 2 months. So this article says, starting on July 15th, 2021, roughly 39 million households will see more COVID-19 relief money deposited into their bank accounts or sent via check or debit card. Like the recent 1,400 stimulus check, this money was authorized by the American Rescue Plan Act, which was signed into law by President Joe Biden in March. So I'll read two more. And it says, the money that's coming this time isn't from a stimulus check, though. Instead, it's the IRS will be distributing the funds into your bank accounts of parents who qualify for the newly expanded child tax credit, okay? So approximately 88% of children in the U.S. will be eligible for these payments, and they will continue on a monthly basis until the end of the year, and maybe for longer. Here's what you need to know. I'm not going to get into everything there, but right now it looks like a lot of it is going to have to determine around families. So if you're single, it's a whole nother different story. I mean, there might be something in there, but a lot of it is catered towards the families and having children. So there's more to read into that. I'm not going to. So yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. There might be more developments, you know, as time comes on. It's only May 19th, which again, I'll do it towards the end of this, but it's only May 19th, so we'll see what happens in the next almost close 2 months. Right. Now, the last two articles I got, and they're speaking on the situation that's going on in Palestine and Israel. So let's get into these things. So this is from AP, the Associated Press, and it says, the title, U.S. says it opposes UN resolution calling for Gaza ceasefire. So the U.S. is opposing what the UN is calling for, to have a resolution with the ceasefire. Let's see. I'm going to read 2 paragraphs once again and keep it going. Let's see. Dang, ain't got no kids. Yep. He said, I'll let y'all know I have 2 whippersnappers. All right, let us know soon when you do. Right. Article reads, United States said Wednesday it opposed a proposed UN Security Council resolution calling for a ceasefire in conflict between Israel and Gaza's Hamas rulers, reiterating that it could interfere with the Biden administration's effort to end the hostilities. So, from that first paragraph, it seems that the reasoning behind it is the president has a plan that is in the works, and this would end up creating more tension between the plan that he has at work. But we'll see. Let's continue. Said, let me see. So France drafted the resolution after the U.S. blocked at least 4 attempts. So there's been 4 attempts to have the council issue a press statement calling for an end to the violence, giving the same reason. Diplomats said all other council members supported the statement. So a press statement requires agreement by 15 council members, but a resolution requires only at least 9 yes votes and no veto by the United States or any other 4 other permanent members. So it's a numbers game, y'all. But as of right now, this is what's still going on. There's still a lot of conflict going on over in Palestine, in Israel, and different countries. The UN, it's trying to put some peace at it, but the U.S. we want to do our own thing. Like, I don't know. All right, last one, and this is around it as well too. I wanted to just add, and then we gonna move on to these topics, y'all. The next 2. So this is an add-on to it. This from the Washington Post. Article reads, House Democrats in disarray over arms sale to Israel take complaints to Biden administration. So let's see. Democrats on the House Foreign Affairs Committee are expected to summon a senior Biden administration official to a high-stakes meeting as soon as Thursday, which is tomorrow, to discuss a pending $735 million arms sale to Israel, as some members of the party's liberal wing angrily oppose the U.S. sending its closest regional ally any more weapons it could use to strike Gaza. So did y'all hear that? Did you hear that? Yes, the never-ending war. But did you hear that? Because they're an ally. I get it. Whatever. They are pending a 735 million arms sale to Israel. So they're still adding to the fuel of the fire. They're going to give more. The Democrats, yes. The Democrats. I'm not going to read the next one because it seems like after that paragraph, that's it right there. But there's more that's to read there. But right now, that's being fought. So I don't know if this is what they were speaking on when they were talking about this is what the Biden administration is giving the deal to do and not wanting to go with what the UN is proposing with the ceasefire. So there's conflicting interests going on, y'all. That's all I have to say. Closest regional ally. What? Exactly. History repeats. Yes, it does. But other than that, y'all, that is all the news. The only last thing that I want to say, at least in this regarding part, is peace and love and shout out in remembrance of May 19th today is Malcolm X Day. So much love, power, respect, strength to the brother and the ancestor Malcolm for what he has stood for, what he has done, and what he has given back, not only to the world as well as the black community and even more, but showing the power and strength it takes to stand up and fight for what you want. And once again, we don't want to make it a whole thing if it's a whole martyrdom type thing, but just how to stand against oppression even when it gets hard, not to give up. So peace and love, much respect, Malcolm X. Right. With that, y'all, that is all the news. If y'all have more, please throw them in the comments. Anything else, appreciate y'all. Right. Now, y'all, what some of y'all been waiting for. We are getting into the next topic, which the next topic is cheating. Oh, so lovely, isn't it? Oh, it's a very bad word, right? You know, it sounds when it comes off of the mouth, it just makes you think of many things when you hear the word cheating. There's a lot of association, of course, with when it comes to, relationships. But y'all let me know, when you hear the word cheating, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Give me a word, a thought, or even a sentence when you hear the word cheating. And while y'all doing that, of course, we gotta be dictionary man over here. Our dictionary, we gotta get it, just so we can have it right. Of course, I'm gonna read the dictionary out of there. Shoot, let's see. We got laughing emoji. Yeah, he said Malcolm was a real one. Yes, peace and love, Malcolm. Yes. Lies. Okay, so when you hear cheating, you hear lies. Ain't cheating unless you get caught. So it ain't cheating unless you get caught. Interesting. All right, we're gonna hold on to that. Exams and exams and sex. Yes. Betrayal. Hedonism. Give us the SAT words. Hedonism. Oh, we got the sister wants to hop in for sure. But I love the words y'all coming up with. So, who do
Hey.
we have in the building? What's going on? What's the word? How you doing?
I forgot it was Wednesday, but no, it's great. It's great. This is a fun topic. Ooh, not
Oh
so
yeah.
intense of a topic.
People. This is something really get people going, right?
Yeah, really gets the people
So,
going.
but before I do, peace and love to the brother, West Coast Ninja, aka Michael in the building, y'all. Before I do and let you do your spill, and you tell us what's the word. Let me drop these definitions real quick so we can have some type of frame of reference, y'all.
Of what cheating
And
is.
going off of yours, we're going to do two of them. We're going to go from the Webster's dictionary definition,
Yay,
as well
Webster.
as we're gonna go with my favorite one to go to, which is the free dictionary, because it has multiple different
It does make a
definitions.
difference what
Yes, and
dictionary.
it's free, y'all. It's free.
It does make
All
a
right.
difference.
So Webster's dictionary
Mm-hmm.
for the word cheating, but it goes down to the word cheat. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
First definition is to deprive to deprive of something valuable by the use of deceit or fraud, cheated and then it says cheated the elderly couple out of their property.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Second one, to influence or lead by deceit, trick, or artifice. And this one is and I can tell now I see it's the sentences. They just don't break it off. It looks like it's a part of the definition, but I'm not going to read the sentence. Third one, to elude or thwart by or as if outwitting, cheat, death. So to outwit, to do that. The next few, and then I'll jump onto the last one, and we're gonna get into this. Peace and love. Yes, I see you, Prince. I just gotta say what a topic for tonight. Yes. Next one, to practice fraud or trickery, denied the accusation that he cheated. And that's another again with the sentence. To violate rules dishonestly.
I like that one. That one's very accurate.
The next one, which I see most of y'all was up in here, some of them y'all was saying, to be sexually unfaithful. And the last one on here I was saying, next to the next one, is to position oneself defensively near a particular area in anticipation of a play in that area. I don't know where they're strategic going with the definition.
Yeah.
But
that's like deception
for sure.
Further. Yeah.
So that definition in itself felt like it was deceitful. So there you go.
I can see that.
This is Webster's dictionary for y'all. All right. Free dictionary, and then we're gonna get on this. To deceive by trickery, swindle, of course. To deprive by trickery, defraud. Boom. To mislead, fool. You're a fool. To elude, escape. I'm getting away from you. I'm just adding stuff to it now. To act dishonest, practice fraud, to violate rules deliberately.
Yeah.
To do it deliberately.
Yeah.
As it is a game. Informal. This is the informal. On here it says to be sexually unfaithful. They say that's the informal.
Yeah. I would agree.
Which it is. True. Yes. This one is in sports. Maybe this will help in sports. To position oneself closer to a certain area that is normal or expected. So that definition before that was going all over the place, that was a reference to sports. So literally so if y'all have ever played basketball, as the example, if any of y'all have ever played basketball or know people who have, that one person who decides to stay on the opposite side of their court, and whenever they get the rebound, they just throw it down to that person. They call that cherry picking, but that in a sense is a bit cheating because you're closer to that area, so you can score your basket, but you didn't even come up with anybody. But yeah,
exactly.
So those are all the definitions. I know there's so many of them, but three main ones that come from it. What's going on, Trudy, peace and love? Main ones that come from it. A lot of it having to do with deceiving, trickery, and doing it as if it's a game. The informal one being, being sexually unfaithful, and this is relationships. And then the third one having to do with the positioning in sports. So you're cheating that particular way. But
and the rules. Don't forget that one.
The rules.
And
the rules. That is true.
Yeah, breaking.
You like that one.
Because that one,
the one that you liked was to violate rules dishonestly.
Yeah.
So to violate rules dishonestly. All right. So, Chris,
That goes
co-host.
hand in hand with boundaries. Like, I like how you picked to discuss boundaries along with cheating, because I do agree the whole like sexual like kind of like perspective we have is a very informal. It's like it like sprouts from the original, which is basically someone who is being dishonest and playing outside
Mm-hmm.
the rules. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what a boundary is. Your boundary is your rule. So to cheat in a relationship, yes, we get like more attached on like the emotional like feel that it causes, but what it simply comes down to, someone stepped outside of the boundary. Like,
Mm-hmm.
then you have to reassess, were the boundaries displayed? You know, because if we keep going off of like, well, you should know, well, you should know. I see the world is changing and shifting, and not everybody is like so aware, you know. And if you're not, you know, if you're not stating your boundaries and you're just expecting someone who has no ideas of the rules,
Yeah.
like you may
Yep.
have a set of rules, they may have a set of rules, and they don't know, then you're gonna find yourself in like this situation. All in all, that's why I like that definition, because I think it's a very clear, very straightforward definition for the word cheating. Because also, and then it's interchangeable. Going back to the example of school, oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
cheated on my exam.
Mm-hmm.
You broke the rules. The rules is keep your eyes on
Yep.
your own paper and fill it out to the best of your knowledge, not the best of little Susie's knowledge, your knowledge.
Or Joyce. Or Rachel.
Or Rachel or
Or
whoever.
Michael. I'm never mind.
Or Michael.
Not Michael's still in here. I'm just playing. All right.
Oh, there's a Michael in
But
here.
yeah, it's my brother. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was actually educated on a thing that is new. I don't know, because I'm old, but apparently there's this thing such as like dating styles now. So like if we thought relationships were like not complicated enough, here now, and there's
Hmm.
dating styles, and you want to make sure that your dating styles are compatible with each other, and requires talking, that requires, you know, expressing, not just like, oh, I like you, let's go on a couple of dates, and then okay, let's title it, and then we'll learn about each other on the way. It's like, no, it's kind of like now it's a negotiation, I guess. You have to, you know, the first date is that negotiation. It's the time to lay your cards out on the table and discuss those kind of things, like my boundaries, my dating styles, this and that. It's like, oh my God, if it wasn't harder before, it's even
Uh,
more harder. But maybe even easier for long term, like long
mm-hmm.
term goal. You know what I mean? So I'm not hating. I'm just overwhelmed with learning. There's so much new things, so many new things out there.
Because we add so much nuance and
Mm-hmm.
ideas into a particular concept, and we do overcomplicate it, because the
Mm-hmm.
main fallback argument, or I can say the excuse, is that,
Mm-hmm.
well, times are changing, we're elevating, we're just getting better, so of course things and old, beliefs
Progressing.
and stuff are, we're progressing. So
Mm-hmm.
in that
Mm-hmm.
sense, yes, but there's a such thing as updating an original program that worked and improving it and just continuing to go.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can continue to go with the laptop that I have, and if I don't update and it continues to go, it's not going to be able to get to a certain
Gonna
point
crash.
longer than you expect if I go ahead and I
Exactly.
still have the original program in there, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
updating and giving it more of a boost in different areas. So,
Mm-hmm.
literally, and this I'll say out to everybody. I mean, y'all can agree to disagree. This is what it's about. But at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, relationships, especially when it moves between, this is between intimate partners, this is opposite sex, whoever you do prefer, and you go further, and it gets into the state of marriage, it
Mm-hmm.
really is a business.
Yeah.
Marriage is a
Most
business.
definitely.
That contract is a business. It is an LCC that you're signing
Mm-hmm.
between two people. So it would
Mm-hmm.
make sense that when you are going through this courting, which there's not a lot of that going on, but I guess now
Yeah.
it's getting, I don't, it's very gray area still with that, especially with the whole pandemic, everything else. But
Mm-hmm.
during that time, courting, dating, doing all of that, that is what is supposed to be going on, is that you're looking for your suitor, your mate, whoever it may end up being, because ultimately relationships, for them to work, you have to build. If you're going to be building stuff, basically just think of, you're in a business with somebody. So
Mm-hmm.
relationships in itself are business. That's why there's a such thing as business relationships. Not saying that, of course, there's personal relationships, but when you go into a realm with somebody or someone, you are going to be building, and you guys are going to be having these boundaries and these different decisions and different, thoughts when it comes to how you guys will work together. It's a
Mm-hmm.
business, regardless. Y'all working
Yeah.
towards a
Something.
common goal. Y'all are
Yeah.
collaborating. But yes,
Mm-hmm.
let me see the comments real quick, and I'm gonna keep going on
Right.
and how I feel too about cheating me. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "I'm screwed. Organic experiences are key for me." I I feel you on that. That's me right here. So I feel you on that. It originally was even a
Mm-hmm.
property
It was.
transaction. Yes, the
Mm-hmm.
dowry when you got married, and
Exactly. And can I speak on that just slightly?
yes.
So like from the okay, because I see things both sides. My energy that radiates through me tends to be just a little bit more masculine, but that's because I'm ruled by Saturn and I'm a
Mm,
Capricorn. So keep that in mind. So I do have that energy in me, but I am a female, identify as female. I have the feminine energy in me within me too. So I see balance wise. And Kunden brings up a very valid point, which is why I can kind of see the need for boundaries, the need for, I guess, expressing these desires and these kind of like agreements, like this is like what I like, this is, not just like what I like, but these are the things
yes.
like, I would like to get from a partner for like either growth purposes or for maybe like attraction purposes or,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is. It comes from, I think it's stemming from that original source. Especially for women, we don't want to feel like property. And sometimes in a relationship, when things go unsaid and you're just vibing or going
Mm-hmm.
along the way, you're accepting things because you're kind of like timid or unsure if you like speak up on things that you like, maybe it may push this person away. So
Mm-hmm.
I've been on the opposite end of that. So I kind of understand, that's why it is important, I guess, because women, we will put up with things, just because we think it will benefit us in the long run,
What's up,
when
Uncle?
actually it doesn't end up benefiting us. And then we are like we're also left with like a little bit of resentment because it's like, oh, well, that wasn't even like my style, or
Mm,
that wasn't, because we have to balance between the old way of thinking and the new way of thinking, because
yeah.
as society is like trying to progress and we want to be all liberated and free and all that stuff, we also sometimes fall back into those gender roles and those like social traps, especially with dating. Like some things
Mm,
are like we'll use an example of like a religious structured relationship. You
mm-hmm.
know, there are set places, and it's mentioned over and over again, and it's beaten into us like X, Y, and Z. The man does X, Y, and you know what I mean? And so it's like a balancing act. It's like, well, you got to make sure, like, if you're a religious person, then maybe someone's dating style, you're going to want to find someone else who is religious, same as you,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
that you don't feel like you're out of place or you're accepting things that you don't accept. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I see the purpose. It's just all like new, and this whole world is just changing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will speak on that part for the next one because it goes well with drawing those boundaries, and we can get back into that. But for me, when it comes to cheating, of course, the main buzzword with that, yes, is being the unfaithful part when it comes to relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some people, and I know they're gonna feel a certain way, but yes, I am going to reference the Godfather, Kevin Samuels, and his comments and his shows that he's talked about this similar topic. And in his particular case, he is doing it from the perspective of a quote unquote high value man.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to this concept of what's going on, nephew, I see you in here. Um, he talks about it in the aspect of that high value men do not cheat, they just exercise their options. And when he means by that particular case, I know. That's why I know I have to explain it. But then I'm gonna come back down and we'll just get to just
Sorry.
cheating. I just wanted to make this point. I just wanted to make this point because it's a very big buzz. Hey, reading body language, that's just how it goes. But basically, like I said, he speaks for a lot of the men who are up in the high echelon of the 10%, almost if not higher. So that's a different experience from the rest of the 90% of just, you can say, average men, which would include myself. But just wanted to share that perspective, which he says that, again, high value men do not cheat, they exercise options. And examples I will give to you and explain with that of how he said that is basically what he is saying is, if you look back in history and you
Mm-hmm.
see the kings, the monarchs, those even
Mm-hmm.
within, if you want to reference the Bible, you have Abraham, you have all these other people who have had
Oh, that's
multiple wives
patriarchy.
and
Yeah.
multiple women. And look, I know you can't. I got you. Don't worry. I got you. Don't worry. I'm just explaining what he has. I'm not saying this is what I'm into
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not in that bracket. But basically, what he is saying is, because of all of the timing and the resource of the money and what he's been able to give, or the high value person is able to give, they have the option. Of course, this is going to be in tandem with making an arrangement with
Mm-hmm.
whoever you're with, which is, if it's your wife,
Mm-hmm.
whoever, you know,
Mm-hmm.
this is an arrangement that's made. But since they have this, they're able to do these particular things, have a mistress on the side and do this stuff. But this is in tandem with what, with being in that particular relationship, once again, with these boundaries. But
Boundaries. Boundaries.
um
Boundaries.
yes, but in his particular thing with that, and that's why it gets screwed. Look, exactly. Watch. So for example, there's a few. One of them people have seen and talked about right now. The whole situation and stuff going on with is Bill Gates and his wife and them splitting, all of that
Oh,
too,
the
and then
just
finding
divorce,
out that
right?
he was still seeing his ex during all this time. And the thing was that was arranged, and that was what was going on. It's been going on for a while, and that's what's happened. But what the thing
Mm-hmm.
is that it's not saying that high value men, quote unquote, and I'm gonna look at Kuna's comment. I will, but those guys who up in the 10% of higher of earners have
Mm-hmm.
the option. That doesn't mean they're going to take it, but they have the option because literally majority of a lot of women are looking for these top 10. So literally there's a battle going on over and over again. But that's just that spiel there. I know you have something you wanted to comment on that. Go ahead, and then I'm gonna be reading what Kundam has put in there.
No. I was laughing at Kun. Yeah, no, like
Yeah.
Kundin had it like on point. Yeah,
Yeah,
Richmond.
he means
That's
just
so
super rich man. Super weird to call them high value. That's not his term. This is a term that's been used throughout. He's just he put a frame and context around it. So
yeah.
he has six particular points that will put you in that bracket of being so-called high value. I don't know all of them off the
Mm-hmm.
top of my head, but this is something that has already been a concept way back when. He just ran it and formatted into his own style for his show. I just wanted to share because that's another bit of content I look into on all different spectrums. Just because, yeah, that's just the context has been used. He said, "Well, Kings used to have at least 100." I mean, it was either back way when it was you would rather want to be with the king versus the peasant. And I'm doing that in, not, this is not verbatim, this is just, in cut, but that was the talk and stuff by that, because of the fact of, we go again back to human nature, between men's and women's nature, and knowing between what biologically we need and how things are set up the way they are. That's why all these different
Mm-hmm.
roles and traditions are set up the way they are, is because of a lot of natural progressions when it comes through. Men and most of the time have been the protectors. Women have been the ones that foster and nurture. Yes, I mean, not saying that you could go outside of those roles, but once again, it's wired already within us. So a lot of this stuff, it just happens naturally. And then we start to see these phenomenons, and then we start having things and notes and names around on them. So then it's like, okay, now I get it. I know what this is, but
Mm-hmm.
that still sounds terrible, especially in the progressive society. You could say now, just about anything PC could be triggering to anybody anyway, any words you can say. So it's very hard to get it across. Shouts out to, again, to Brother Kunden, to get it across
Mm-hmm.
within giving the truth, and people are not ready for the truth. But if you complement it with a story and the truth in it, people are able to at least digest it a little bit more and grasp it through different concepts and different visuals and ways that you tell it. But I digress. Um, with cheating in particular, just only a few things I wanted to touch back on it is, one, this could be yes or no answer. Y'all can say that. Does cheating involve a moral aspect to it? Does cheating involve a moral aspect to it?
Anything that deals with deception, I believe, has some moral connotation that is attached to it. Because when you think of morality, you're thinking of like your compass of truth, right? Due north, your path of truth and understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of morality deals with wanting to wanting to strive for what is right, not what's right for me, but what is objectively right. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind morality. I don't mind discussing spirituality, morality, hardcore like religion. I get a little bit tense because I'm like, hey, that's that's different than morality. It does have some moral lessons in them, but it's more of like a fortress. Like there's more
Mm.
to it. So deceit, anything that has to do with deceiving someone, like just common sense, like just ask yourself, is it right for me to trick somebody so that I can take take their watch when they're not looking? Was that the right
Mm.
thing to do? If you have to ask, is that the right thing to do? Most times it's not really the right thing to do. And that's just on a common sense level. You can get
Mm-hmm.
like a little bit more in depth, with it, but just it's not that deep. It's just like common sense. If you're deceiving someone, then yes, because with deceit comes, betrayal, comes hurt, comes other emotions that you are causing someone to feel, and and it can even become harmful, depending, case by case, situation by situation. Different, but it can be. It has the potential to cause harm.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's where I'm at with that.
Yeah, I love the point that you add, because it's a very um poignant point to me, is if you have to question or think into your own self and say, is this the right, if not something thing to do? If you got to question yourself about what you're about to do, most likely it's either not in the best interest for whoever you're doing that to, and it is comes down to a moral decision. So I love that point, because that's what I was gonna touch on a bit with that. But yes, but let me see. I wanted to read the two comments that
Let's
was
go
here,
back.
and
We
then
got some comments.
I wanted to look at some stuff, because then there's one particular comment from the brother Riviera earlier that he had, and I wanted to touch on that part within cheating, so we'll do that. But let's see. So we got Sue. She said, "This
Ooh,
is
I like
why
Sue's
I've
point.
been and will stay single. It's unnatural for most people to be monogamous.
Monogamous.
Me and these words
And
today.
that's a
I
dating
swear.
style. That's a
Mm-hmm.
dating style. Because,
Yeah.
yeah, I've been hearing when I was having that discussion when I was educated on dating style, monogamy is a dating style. So you want to find someone who also values monogamy in the same way that you do.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, the difference between cheating and then like the dating style of poly or the dating style of like, it's okay if, my boyfriend has someone else, or that goes back to the agreement that was discussed, the understanding that they have, and therefore that is their dating style. Doesn't make it
Mm.
wrong, doesn't make it right. That's where it gets like that whole like negotiation to find compatibility. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like that you brought up monogamy, because that was one thing. I was like, the world's not monogamous anymore. And it's like, really? People are like negotiating their terms now. Like, oh, okay. Empowering on one hand, kind of feels stressful on the other,
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Um.
then we have Kundin said polyamory, polyfidelity, open
Mm-hmm.
relationships are options too. It's all about being honest with all potential love. Exactly that negotiation.
Yeah.
And I'd rather be
Yeah. It's a lot less stressful.
alone, to
Yes.
be honest.
It's
It's a
really,
lot less stressful.
it's a
Well,
really full
depending.
bag of stuff. But the comment I
Okay.
want to get back to the brother,
Oh,
if you ever said before, and anybody else, you're more than welcome to join. We can have another person join. It could be 3 at a time. But the comment the brother has stated was, "It ain't cheating if you don't get caught." And how do you all feel about the statement? Is it ain't cheating if you
No.
don't get caught?
Was there deceit? The fact that you're saying if you don't get caught, which means you're being deceptive, which that's my only point right there. Like, I won't tear into it, I won't go further. There's deception there. The intent was to deceive. So therefore, it is then cheating. Now, had you guys had a conversation, there's understanding, boundaries were set,
Mm-hmm. Don't
then
worry, we
that's
gonna get there.
boundaries.
We're gonna get there. Let's see. Yeah, I'm too territorial to be poly. I'd have to be the only woman and have 2 men or some players. The brother Sabi comes in. Communication is key. Yes.
Yep, we
Yes.
have to talk about it. Mm-hmm.
Kunin says, it was never totally monogamous. Women in Nepal and Bhutan, if I'm saying that correct, have had polyandry with multiple husbands for centuries, for example. You know that is still deceptive. Exactly. That's like me saying, yo, you think I've only been drinking water, but behind you back, I've been over here getting some fruit punch and everything else. And then every time I come back to you and you're wondering about, like, do we have anything else to drink? And I'm like, nah, we just still only have water. So like, I'm drinking it too. And dang, like, that's all we got right now. We can't get anything else. But you go out over here outside and just start drinking all the fruit punch, not knowing that behind there. That is still cheating in that particular case. Once again, you're going behind somebody's back,
Intentions.
doing things.
But that's the thing. Polyandry and polyandry, that's like, again, a dating, which means there's an understanding that comes with it, which means the intent different. And I think that's the big key. Not just only communication, but intentions. What are your intentions? That one's big.
Now, next point, and if there's any other things that do come up, throw them in there. Next question I want to throw out there is, what is the main purpose for cheating? What is the main purpose for cheating? It's true, you know, we all gotta be honest and 100. Yes.
Right.
You here? You there? Cause you back and forth. You run. You forth. You good?
I think I'm back. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm back.
The question I posed out there, and it's for you to answer. I can answer anybody out there. Is about what is the main purpose behind cheating?
You know what? I don't know. I honestly don't know the purpose behind cheating, because to
Hmm.
me it doesn't really serve a purpose. Um, yeah, because everybody's like, again, everybody's intentions are different. So like intentions, purpose, that's interchangeable. I don't know. I haven't spoken to many people about their perspective on cheating, so
Hmm.
I don't know what the mindset is like. You know.
So
Oh.
I'll give at least three from my perspective that come up when it comes to cheating being or the main purpose to cheating. The first
Mm-hmm.
one is to fill a missing void that is not being served to you where you are currently.
Mm.
And a lot of the times when people are unfaithful, part of the reason behind that too is that they're not getting either their enough attention, enough pleasure, enough support within the confines of a relationship. So for them, the main purpose for cheating would be to go fill that missing void that they are not getting currently within the relationship they're in. That's the first one. The second one for cheating, which most of the time can be the most destructive because it
Mm-hmm.
gets to a very emotional, it's an emotional state when you do this on either side. But the
Mm-hmm.
second reason for cheating or the main purpose is revenge
Mm.
for whatever the person or whoever you are with. That is the main purpose of why you will step out or you will cheat, is to get back for something that they did. Maybe they possibly also cheated, or they didn't get you some particular thing that they said that they promised they would get you. So in order for that, the consequence was, I'm gonna get revenge on you, and this is what I'm gonna end up doing.
That's malice. So that's a whole new level of just, yeah.
Yeah,
Morally empty. Just,
yeah.
malice is
Um,
not good. There's no way to justify malice. Like,
um, and then the third one, and like I said, a lot of these do have to do with, it's the more personal. That's where I want to keep it, because as much as we can respond to the outside world, we don't have
mm-hmm,
control over these things. So when I'm
mm-hmm,
speaking of these 3 points, most of these 3 points are things that you can work on. Not saying anybody's doing it now, but these are three things
mm-hmm,
that you can work on when it comes to wondering why do you cheat. And yes, we're looking at it from the negative, light. I will throw in to see if there's any benefits to it, but that would be the next question. But the third thing,
mm-hmm,
the main purpose for cheating is, once again, and it might be very similar to the first one, is
mm-hmm.
to fulfill an insecurity.
I was gonna say it had to do something with insecurities, and then that's a personal journey. That is a personal issue. There is no woman, like the girl you're with, the girl you're seeing, that void is not going to be filled by engaging with
Yes.
anybody on any level. That's a you sitting down with you type of
Yes.
solution right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a number of different ways. I agree with you when it comes to everybody has their reasoning behind it, but I will say at least those are three that I notice that come up a
Mm-hmm.
lot.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them, again, they're on that personal level. There are some that are outside of like your control that can do with biology, all this other
Mm-hmm.
different stuff, but I'm not going to touch on that. I'm going to touch on the more that come to the top of my head. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to jump into the benefits, and then we want to roll over into boundaries. But before we do that, look at some more
Benefits.
comments because y'all are going in. All right, so Sue said
Benefits.
cheating is some coward-ish to me. I feel that. If you can't be real and let somebody know what's up, come on.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the first love, opposites, FWB, rebound, referred relationship, toxic one, friend, and the one. And this is, I'm going back to, those are the relationship styles or dating
Styles.
styles. This,
Styles.
yes,
Yeah.
okay.
Dating
Okay, so those were
styles.
those styles. I'm not going to repeat again, but they're there. The brother said grass is greener on the other side sometimes. Okay, I see what you're talking about. But yeah, but you gotta understand how you're gonna keep up that green grass, because not everything
Mm-hmm.
stays the same forever. But I feel you. I can at least respect the comment. Um, they want to have their cake and eat it too. Yes, that's literally that's what people try to do. When you don't work harder, you want to work smarter. And if you can be able to get almost the whole pie versus only getting a slice or maybe two or three, if you can get the whole pie, why not go for it? Double or nothing, triple or nothing. I'm gonna try to
Right.
go for it. And I mean, personally for me, no. Personally for me, I'm satisfied with whatever I get that's going to help me survive. I don't need to eat the
Be
whole thing because I don't need to
humble.
be walking around with all this extra weight and extra luggage on me because I don't want to eat everybody's pie and everybody's cake and just eat it and nobody has nothing left. Like, where's the balance in that? Um, it said that's when you communicate or you bounce. That's right. You have to set, we'll get into those boundaries. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
have to set those when it comes to stuff like that. There's no justification. This is on another level. And when it gets there, dang, yes, preach facts. Cheating can psychologically destroy the other person. 1,000,000%. I skipped 100, I skipped 1,000, I skipped 10,000 and 100,000 for sure. There's too many people that they have been scarred. There's a such thing. You can get PTSD from a past relationship. You can create trust issues from a previous relationship. And as much as we know how detrimental physical harm and things can be, people forget about the verbal and the psychological harm that can also happen when you are in relationships that do not help and they're psychologically destroying you. Yes, it's
Mm-hmm.
because it also taps into our ego. It taps into our nature as a human being, wanting to be in a community and be connected. And when you rip that away and run away with it, of course you're going to be feeling a certain way. You're going to feel like, once again, people will say this, it feel like I lost a part of me when that person left. It's because you
Mm-hmm.
gave so much energy into that person that when they leave and run away, it feels like they took a lot of their energy that you gave to them with them. So how are you
Mm-hmm.
not gonna be feeling some type of way about
Mm-hmm.
that? Right, we say so. When you say dating styles, are you talking about attachment styles? Because that's something else too. Yes, attachment styles is a whole different thing too. There's
That's
that whole
another.
the whole Bowlby experiment, y'all. And I forgot her whole
Just
name,
like
but this whole experiment about,
preference.
I think he's about to say it right there. Yeah, right there. Look, it said avoidant, anxious, avoided, and secure attachment. There's also ambivalence, which I think is
No.
also in that anxious avoidant. But yes, dealt with it personally. Definitely had PTSD. Freaking sucks. Sending love to y'all. PTSD from relationship is no good. Can't imagine that sucks. Yes, might be why I'd rather not be attached to another human being on that level. I don't like the idea of someone's actions having that much control over me. Yes, that is where
Have a good day.
a lot of, it's very hard for me to try to put this in words, but there is a process that you must go through on your self journey, your self-love journey, that you will come to understand and understand your worth, as well as know how much you can give a person, and understand that, yes, because we have that word attachment, we think that we have to be fully invested into that person. You have to understand too, at the end of the day, just how the seasons change, just how the day changes, that's not guaranteed. So I'm not saying that, oh, I don't cherish or value the attachments or the relationships I have with people. I definitely do. But I am very comfortable, and I'm in a state where I am, at least for me right now. So I'm speaking about me. Y'all can tell me wherever. But I'm in a state right now where literally, if somebody decided to just walk out and leave that I really know and I was really messing with, I wouldn't be upset, because I know, one, at the end of the day, that relationship either served its purpose, or at the same time, it was just meant to happen in that particular way. I don't have any type of beef with the person, or however it ended up turning out. And I did not give, the energy to the point where they had that whole control over me. That's a whole different thing. Yes, you can say it's a whole dynamic with the ego and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But you got to remember, at the end of the day, yes, you have to save stuff for yourself. We are selfish. You have to save some stuff for yourself. You can't give them 100% of your energy, and then you expect to be out over here doing double, triple backflips, thinking you got all the energy in the world. No. You have to be realistic about these things. So I'm not saying don't love people and don't be attached, of course, but be aware and just know the value of what that attachment is, and be ready, and even visualize yourself without that attachment. And will you be okay with that? Those are questions to ask on your journey of self-love and self-improvement. Right. Let's keep going. And then I did want to ask about the benefits, and then we got to get into, boundaries, because we about to actually hit a longer show. But hey, I'm with it. It's y'all here, we in here, I'm with it. All right,
we active
tonight. It's like oh yeah, I'll drop them up in a heartbeat now. One time and you're gone. Yeah. Facts. Rediscovering how much potential you have helps a lot. Self-love is key in life. Yes, you need to love yourself before you can love someone else. That is the whole truth. Not no fat, cut it all off, is straight raw right there for you. It definitely is. That's not saying, in his statement, and if I may add a little bit to it, that's not saying that you cannot love someone on that way of finding the self-love, but it's more of, you've built that foundation firm for yourself, that yes, I love myself, I know who I am, and I love the things and stuff that I do. Because what ends up happening is, you can start off, again, may not know much about yourself and loving yourself, and you have a loving relationship with a lot of people. But then when you go on that self-love journey and you get deeper into it, and now you really fully love yourself and value a lot about yourself, you are also going to be improving and even adding more love to all those other relationships that are already loving that you have. So it really is, at the end of the day, it's an improvement period. It's like an upgrade to an upgrade. So
it definitely is.
You can love where you're at. You can love where you're at. But when you go on that journey and you come back, you're going to be able to give even more of it out to everyone. So I'm with that, brother. Much with the facts. Right. The unpopular opinion. I'm going to say it, but it's just a question. But then I'm also thinking of an unpopular opinion to say. What are the benefits to cheating? What are the benefits to cheating? If there are any.
From whose perspective? The one being cheated on, or the one doing the cheating?
And we'll add in a third one. Both of those, as well as the one person outside observing
it. The spectator is just watching relationship. Does it
on
benefit them?
TV.
Does ooh. I mean, I don't know. Again, it comes down to intentions for me. So like if your intentions are like negative, like I don't know, like what would be a benefit, you know? Because now you're hurting this person that you're telling every day that you love them or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
then now you're sharing yourself with someone else who may not even care about you that deeply, but you guys are engaging something, you know. So I don't know. I can't really see any of the advantages like that. I'm having a very hard time, so I'm gonna need some help with this one.
So I'm going to use it in the perspective and the points of between short and long. So I'll
Mm-hmm.
explain what I'm talking about. I don't want to give it out fully. I want to go through the whole thing. So
Okay.
for the person doing the cheating, the benefit for them is, and this can be, since we're still in the relationship part, I also want to speak on another part of it, but in the relationship part, for the person who is doing the cheating, they are getting bonuses on top of what they already get in the relationship somewhere else. That's the benefit for them. Don't worry, I'll wrap this up and it'll make sense. For the person that's getting cheated on, the benefit for them, and this goes back to the sister's comment in there we're speaking on, is
Mm-hmm.
you start to, one, learn body language. Two,
Mm.
you see the true colors. So then now
Mm-hmm.
you're able to be a lot more perceptive when it comes
Mm.
to the cheating.
Okay.
Third,
A
the
lesson.
person
Okay.
on the outside who's looking at y'all like a reality TV show, and the benefit that they end up seeing for the person outside of them, once again, like you said, intent,
Mm-hmm.
entertainment, it's drama.
Mm.
I
Mm.
get to see that now. I got something to go and tell and talk to people about.
Mm.
That's again, benefit. Using it in a way still seems like it's still within a negative context, because once again, this is a very hard particular subject to try to even look on the other side, but that's why we want to still go with it. Now, my point to sum all those three together is it's the idea of
Mm-hmm.
short-term reward and long-term reward.
Mm-hmm.
When you're looking at the benefits, a lot of them are very short-term.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I
nothing
can
that
see
will
that.
sustain long-term.
Mm-hmm.
So in the short term, yes, you're getting whoever your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your significant other, they're giving you what? Sex, food, money, all this other different stuff within a relationship. And then you go outside of that and you get double from somebody else. And you may not even have to, quote unquote, engage in intercourse with that person, but they won't be paying for another bill. Money just coming in just because they want to do that. That in its particular self, short term.
Okay. Okay.
Um, with all of this, the main thing of what happens with cheating is that it is not sustainable at all
Mm-hmm.
in any way, shape, or
It's
form. And the
deception.
reason why,
Yeah.
is, again, the morality piece, as well as the piece that you feel it after a while. It's a vibe, Once again, people start getting better at perceiving other stuff like that. It creates unneeded tension within a relationship, which relationships in themselves are already hard enough to continue to build without adding on other
Mm-hmm.
layers to be like why we should make this even harder than it is. So in the aspect of relationships with cheating, those are the benefits. Now, the benefits of cheating outside everywhere else, I still will say it's a short-term benefit,
Mm-hmm.
long-term negative. You can cheat
Right.
on your test. You'll get an A,
But
But
that
if the
midterm,
teacher come back, yeah. Once again, we can have the law. Look, we can talk about the law of karma, all of that stuff. You know what comes, all of that stuff going on is later on down the line, the cause and effect. You got an A because you cheated on that. But eventually, somewhere down the line, either you're not going to pass another class that you might have really needed for you to graduate. But remember what you did back when you cheated on that one test? That's what happened. In the short term, you may have passed that test and might have passed that class, but in the long term, for you to graduate, you wasn't able. Peace and love, MC Zero in the building, got more fam. Saipan in the building, y'all. World
See, we're
connection.
talking about high school. We're talking about school, and then he popped
high
up.
school. Stop. I knew it. Do not go there with the high school.
We're talking about school, and then Zero pops up. Like, y'all reminiscing again?
Oh my goodness. As well as cheating on your taxes, cheating on, if some of y'all are out there, I've seen some videos, it's so funny. Some of y'all over here committing fraud, again, fraud on these PPE loans. In the short term, you're gonna have 10 G's and above to mess with, but in the long term, if you're not able to show that you have a business or anything else from what you got, you going to jail now.
Uh-oh.
So, in short, with all of the cheating and what cheating is, the benefits, I will say, very short term, not long term or sustainable, as well as when it comes to it, you have to be able to set and figure out your boundaries, which y'all transition to the last topic for today's show, which is the question:
boundaries.
Where do you draw boundaries in your life? So we've gotten to talk about cheating, relationships, all the above when it comes to that. Now, when it comes to the communication piece and figuring out if you're going to go into building and go into a business relationship with somebody, where do you draw boundaries? And what are those?
I like that you said that, because boundaries is going to be our first topic when we get up and so I'm gonna bring out my research. I was like, oh, we talking boundaries? I was like,
that's why she is the co-host. The co-host. Come on,
I got stuff on boundaries. See, there's 6 different types of boundaries.
Word?
We're not.
6 types. You know, it's not the inside, the outside. You know, but continue. Yeah. High school buddies, so, bruh. I swear, y'all.
High school buddies, the alumni of the Aliens Association. We'll just make it AAA. There's like 6 different types, but specifically to fit the theme of what we're talking about, cheating. So there is a sexual boundary. So again, that's expressing, you know, what you're into, what your desires are, what you're looking for from a partner. You know, all the way down to, it could be about like activities together. And then more of like the question you're asking of like, where do you draw the line for boundaries? Yes. There's intellectual boundaries. So like what you're thinking, like how to be mindful, you know, boundaries with your mind. And then there's, of course, time boundaries. We're all familiar with time boundaries.
Yes.
We're like, we ain't got time to mess around, so I need X, Y, and Z in order for me to be efficient. You know what I mean? So yes. I think with the topic today, sexual boundaries and time, what's the word? Like the 2.
Okay.
Hi, Kunden.
Yes.
Hi.
To continue, you got that. So we got that with
So we got sexual time, right? No, you finish your 6 boundaries first. Just want to
I went
listen to
over
that
three
first.
because like all
So you said sexual time and what?
have a boundary of not liking to be touched. I guess it could intertwine.
Oh yeah, physical
So there's
boundaries. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
physical, sexual, emotional, intellectual, time, material. So those are the 6
Mm-hmm.
boundaries. But
Yeah,
for
like
today's
material,
topic,
financial, right?
sexual,
Yeah.
time, and intellectual kind of are in this
Mm.
discussion within cheating.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
am I
With
frozen
that,
again?
once again, are you good?
Oh, are you freezing? Oh, you're
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see you waving your hands.
Well, let's see. All right. Well, while she's getting that in there, what do you have for us, Kunin? What's the word
Yeah, I
with you
was
on this?
saying about, there's like the obvious things like, the very hard boundaries like, racism, ableism, sexism, etc. And then, and even that's not always obvious, right? Because sometimes it's covert, right?
Yeah.
Um, but I think boundaries are also moment to moment with real-time self-awareness, and I think that's where the importance of self-awareness comes in because I feel like every
Mm-hmm.
moment, every
Mm-hmm.
moment is a boundary exchange, right? Like even this moment, right now, the three of us together, right? You could have declined my request, and that would have been your boundary, right? And I would have had to accept that, right? It's real time, right?
Yes.
Um, and conversely, I could have just not come up or even not choose to participate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so it's even yeah. So even this is a boundary exchange that there's a flow of uh, boundaries of like of decisions that we're making of relaxing uh, and then putting up boundaries like all the time. Like it's
Yes.
happening every moment. I think it's really important to be aware of that. Like or sometimes I could uh, like she was mentioning the physical boundaries, right?
Yes.
So like sometimes I could even like go near a person or a group of people, right, at a party or something, right, and I could feel like, oh, I don't vibe with this person or with this group, and I just wanted to get away, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they might have done nothing to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's my boundary, right? I don't even have to justify it. I'd be like, I just don't want to be with this person or this group of people. So
Mm-hmm.
like it's like happening all the time. Right?
Yes. That's beautiful. I appreciate. Thank you, Chris, for giving us those 6 different boundaries because
Mm-hmm.
the main part before being able to know where you draw the boundaries, you have to be aware of what the boundaries are for yourself as well as for everyone else to be able to draw or find those boundary lines to be put. So
Mm-hmm.
if we have that speaking with either time, sexual, the physical, the once again intellectual, spiritual, financial, whatever, all those other different boundaries, you have to be able to identify, okay, where is
I heard
your
Chris,
point
and
where
then
you should
you guys
not be able to cross.
are loading.
Dang, you still back up on us. We can't really hear you. Um,
I heard something, and
but
you're freezing again.
the key point with that, like I was saying, is the awareness part and awareness piece. So then
Mm-hmm.
you know what those boundaries are.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't get to set those,
Mm-hmm.
whether on all of those 6 that you've gotten to speak on, someone can come along and without
Mm-hmm.
them knowing, they can
Mm-hmm.
step over your
Mm-hmm.
boundary and you
That part.
respond in a particular way and they'll be like, yo, wait, like, why did you do that? Like, I thought this was cool. Like, what's going on? Like, this ain't happened before. And to help, again, this is where I will say as a country with a lot of the different organizations and stuff that we have, we need to focus a lot more on prevention versus when the crisis happens. So, if you're able
Yep.
to know your boundary beforehand, you can communicate that across to people so that when you're in that relationship, people know, okay, this is to the far extent I can go with you when it comes to the time boundary. This is the far
Right.
extent I can go with you for the physical boundary, and so on and so forth. But but Calvin, Avis, what if that person is still unaware of their boundaries because they haven't gotten time to think or figure it out because they haven't had those experience to know what are those boundaries and how does that affect them? Well, to that point, I would preface, what did you learn as a child?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
As a child, a lot of the learning that we
Right.
do is very observational, is
Right.
very hands-on,
Oh,
is
yes.
taught by the parents.
Household
So
boundaries.
even if you don't necessarily know
Mm-hmm.
what the boundaries is
Mm-hmm.
because you haven't went through that experience, actually, you have. You just haven't become aware of that fact because
Mm-hmm.
you haven't had a conversation with your
Mm-hmm.
mom, knowing that literally, oh, the way that your mom and dad or your mom and sister, uncle, whoever, how they interacted, you picked up on those social cues, and that is how you have set your boundary of
Mm-hmm.
time and physical
Mm-hmm.
boundaries is because of what you
Mm-hmm.
saw between your parents and your family. And when it comes to the
Mm-hmm.
relationship
Mm-hmm.
and you find that out, yes, you can
Yes.
find it out through your own experience, but it's going to come to a point where, once
Mm-hmm.
again, I say it's a bad word. I'm not a bad word in the sense to bleep it out. You have to be accountable for your actions. I'm speaking to an adult right now. I'm speaking at least
Mm-hmm.
to
Ooh,
adults. If this is to kids too,
accountability. Ooh.
if this is kids too, kids as well, all around the spectrum, young, old, in between, in the universe, wherever else, you have to at the end of the day take accountable for your actions and what you do. I'm not,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stay accountable 100% of the time for Chris, for Coonan, or anybody else. I can't do that. I don't
Right.
have
You.
control over those things. I don't
Mm-hmm.
have control over them.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to do that in the first place. That's just me. Hopefully that's not you. All the other type of relationships and stuff. But the main
Mm-hmm.
point is you cannot continue just to waltz through life like, oh la la la, this is how it is, and oh dang, now this happened to me. Oh, uh, I'm the victim. No, there's a reason why that you got yourself in the situation that you did. You weren't aware that you was walking beyond out of your own personal boundary that you created in those 6 realms of boundaries, and you decided like, oh, I'm gonna still keep walking, and then when you get hit with it, you feel a certain way. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
look into that. You gotta be able to take up for what that is. Nobody's gonna learn that for you. You have to learn it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we ended up
Yeah.
picking boundaries for our first topic, because it's like a word that it pushes people on their. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
word people get really shocked. It's like, no, 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 no. I'm so sorry. You're overstepping boundaries. What? Either for offensive. Like, what do you mean I'm overstepping your personal boundaries? What am I doing? What does that have to do with you? You know what I mean?
Mm.
So, like, well, this
Mm-hmm.
is how you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like we,
Can you please stop?
Go ahead, Glenn.
there's so much like unlearning, there's learning,
House.
but also unlearning to
Oh,
do, right? Because as
right.
children, we we were told no all the time. Like no was the number one word that we learned, right? We were told
Mm-hmm.
no. But conversely, our own no's were not honored often by our parents because they were the authority figures and they were like
Mm-hmm.
always like, I know better than you, right? And in many cases they probably did because they had, the financial power, the physical power over you, and they had more knowledge and data and information than you, right? And so we get used to just having our boundaries not honored. So we just,
Mm-hmm.
live life like not setting enough boundaries. Uh, or like we might go the other way sometimes, and we might live life, violating other people's boundaries all the time. And it's almost like a battle between these two types of people, and often the boundary violators uh, tend to use a lot of like gaslighting as well, and
Mm.
sometimes they might uh, be gaslighting you and then accuse you of gaslighting,
Yes.
which is so
Yep.
funny. That happened to me once when there was a discussion on Facebook, and I was like, yeah, somebody asked me something. I was like, oh, this is too complicated a question. I don't want to talk about this on my wall, on my profile right now. It's, too much for a little comment box on Facebook, right?
Mm.
And and then she immediately started DMing me and harassing me and starting off with, oh, like, I donated $100 to you along, and I was like, okay, like it was a long time ago, and yet your point, like,
Yeah.
almost like
You
she was
don't own me.
implying
Like
that,
what?
yeah, like I have to be
What?
at your beck and call just because you did this one time. Like what? And then she was like, oh, but you're gaslighting me by saying you can't. We can't talk about it. I'm like, what? No, like you're gaslighting me actually in this case, This is crazy
Right.
making. Like for my boundary. Because you want to violate my boundary
Yeah.
Mm.
in all these multiple ways, right?
Mm.
Almost like it verges on committing financial abuse, right? Like you don't own me, you don't control me. I've never even met you. Like,
It was your choice to send me that money.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
right. It was your
Yep.
choice. Yeah, exactly. We made no agreement. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-mm-mm. But wow, yes,
Boundaries. The hot.
you got to. So another point, and then definitely to wrap up, or at least another question to pose out, would be, what are a few ways you can set those boundaries,
Mm,
whether from all those six? What are some ways we got to, because we got to give some solutions. We're going to talk about a lot of this stuff and we say these things. Now we got to give some examples and some type at least of solutions. So again, what are some
mm.
ways that you can draw these boundaries?
Well, the simplest thing is get used to saying no and understand that no is a complete sentence. There is
Yep.
no, you don't have to explain your no. There is like
Yep.
no but, no and. It's just one single word, no. No is a complete sentence. And to
Mm-hmm.
really understand that deeply in yourself and embody that, like I think that's the simplest thing. It's like a foundation.
Beautiful.
I agree. I'm personally like working on this with in terms of my time. I have been experiencing a difficult manager who
Mm,
has a hectic and chaotic managing style, and she oversteps a lot of boundaries, a lot of personal boundaries. So
mm,
this week, I've been exercising to decline things, you know, um, to explain to her. I know I don't owe an explanation, but I explain because I like educating people because I clearly
mm,
feel like she's aloof and really see from other
mm,
people's experiences or perspectives. So I try to take the time out to explain, to like lay it out so that she can see it, and hopefully something clicks, you know,
Yeah.
but most time doesn't. Just being honest. So I'm actually in practice of setting boundaries right now in my life, and I'm attempting different, and with some people, you know, have a hard time. I don't want to say they don't get it, because I feel like some people get it and then they just choose to like pretend like they don't understand, and then some people genuinely don't understand, so it doesn't hurt to like educate and talk it out, you know,
Mm-hmm.
until you've come to common ground, because you know you're
Yeah.
struggling.
She was on.
Yeah. And then she
Yes.
started freezing. But yeah, I totally agree. Oh, now she's back.
Some kind of
Are you back?
exchange where you're
There
on
we go.
common ground. um so I don't know, we'll see. I don't have any answers.
Mm.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And piggybacking off that, if I do explain, right, I make it clear that I'm not obligated to give an explanation, that this is an extra labor out of my own benevolence. And I want to make it clear to them as well sometimes, and be like, this, I don't even owe you this, but I am giving it to you out
Mm-hmm.
of the kindness of my heart in this moment. This is
Yes.
yeah, this is an extra benevolence.
Beautiful. Um, to both of your points. Number one, y'all, practice saying no. It'll save you a lot of time. Definitely
Mm-hmm.
practice saying no. Second thing, write down and identify, and you can look up. There was 6 boundaries that the sister Chris, she talked about.
Mm-hmm.
If you into writing, I mean, you can do you know, a voice recording or whatever it may be, but
Mm-hmm.
figure out where you stand in all those 6 boundaries. Either write it in a notebook that you have, put it down so you can know specifically when it comes to time. Okay, this is my boundary. When people end up saying they're going to be here and they're 30 minutes late, then I tell them, okay, next time you do that, we're not going to be doing such and such of whatever you want to end up doing.
Mm-hmm.
So making sure you write down and specifically know between what are your boundaries for certain things. That's another thing, is definitely be able
Mm-hmm.
to write that down. Um, Another thing that I was thinking about when it came to it, and it comes to figuring out how do you get this when it comes to making these boundaries or these drawing these lines of boundaries. Um, the other thing is really get curious.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have that curiosity there, and
Mm-hmm.
you have to be willing to put in the time and the effort to do so. So a lot of the solutions are going to be very driven for you to end up doing. It's not going to just happen automatically and be like everybody in the universe is going to be able to know my boundaries, even though I don't even know my own boundaries. And I don't want to do anything about working on finding those boundaries. And I don't know why I'm pointing this at y'all, but I just am. I hope this not breaking your boundaries because I'm doing
Correct.
this. But you have to be very, very curious about what that is for you. Because at the end of the day, you are living your life. So you want to be able to have hopefully a peaceful one, hopefully an a enjoyable one. And if you don't take the time to figure out what are those keys in life to help you have a fulfilling, joyful, peaceful life, you're setting yourself up already to fail, in particular when it comes to that notion in life. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the only things I wanted to add. Did you two have anything else? So I'm gonna wrap up the show. This has actually almost been a 2-hour show, y'all. It's a beautiful
Oh
thing.
wow, a lot of participation.
Yes, participation from everybody was just
Mhm.
like the sister's name say right here, superb for
Herb.
sure. Um, but do you two have anything else before I go ahead and wrap it up?
No, I'm good.
Anything?
Yeah, yeah, and sometimes if it's, you've got to learn about be flexible with how you set your boundaries too sometimes. Learn the ways,
Mm-hmm.
um, learn the ways you're comfortable and uncomfortable, and look at why. Sometimes the reason why you're uncomfortable is just your fears, and sometimes it is reasonable and practical. So, like for example, my aunt with whom I live is kind of mentally ill, and she used to come into my room whenever I go out and like move stuff around. I'm like, it's my stuff. Why are you doing? I know I'm living here, but why are you doing this? So, but she's my aunt and she's with family. I found it difficult to just express it. So what I eventually started doing was I would write a note and stick it to my door before I leave, and just say, like, "Do not disturb, do not enter." And then she got it and she didn't do it anymore. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. So through
And
trial and
sometimes I
error,
even write,
yes.
yeah.
Hmm.
Sometimes I even write, "I'll be back at this time." So because sometimes she does it because she feels like scared or insecure when people are not around, and she does the weird things. So I'm like, "Oh, I'll be back at this time. You're not gonna be alone for a long time." Yeah,
Mm,
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
Right, y'all. To wrap up all of this, all of this. Hope y'all took in a lot of this because I know I have. I appreciate both of you and everyone for participation. So to wrap everything up, when it comes to a lot of the current events, please just make sure you do what you can to know what's going on around. The main thing, knowing what's the word and what's happening, because you don't want to walk outside and find out something was going on around you and you didn't be able to get to it. I know it's not going to always
Hmm.
happen, but just be aware. Second thing,
Yeah.
when it comes to cheating, whether if it's relationship, personal, school, life, business, whatever may end up being, in the short term, yes, it could benefit you in your intent, but in the long term, it is not sustainable. So don't bet on
Hmm.
cheating being something that you can keep with you long term. And long term doesn't mean 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. That may seem long, but when we talk about long term, it's almost till you hit the grave. So just know the difference between the short term benefit, the long term haul that's added to cheating. And
Hmm.
lastly, with boundaries, and I'm just going to keep it short and sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And shouts out
Mm-hmm.
again to the sister Sue, aka Superb, and what she said. If you don't know you, you don't know Ish.
Hmm.
And that's where it starts with. It starts with you. So
Mm-hmm.
know what you need to know for you. Picture each one of those boundaries, set them, do what you need to experience and find out what works for you. And then you will be able to set them appropriately, be flexible with it appropriately, and be able to maneuver and move and build on the relationship, knowing all those boundary lines. But with that,
Hmm.
y'all, I've been your brother Avis. This has been Kundin. This has been the sister Chris. This has been What's the Word Wednesdays,
Woohoo!
season 2, episode 14. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Again, appreciate y'all and your comments. Shout out
All
to those
right.
watching later and on YouTube. Like, comment, share, subscribe, do all those things.
Woohoo.
And we'll see y'all next time.
Yes.
Peace and love.
With the
Woo.
wings.
Peace and love.
Stop.